I called Windermere this morning, and Mrs. Lansbury said that Nicholas hadn't come home after all. Is something wrong?
Dr. Gale, please call your service. Dr. Gale, please call your service.
Did you know about this?
Well, I knew Nikolas was in some kind of trouble, yeah.
What happened to your voice?
No, it's just some laryngitis. I'm gonna be fine.
Why didn't you tell me about Nicholas?
Sarah, I didn't know what to say to you, okay?
Lucky was in the room with Nikolas when something happened. But we don't know what yet until the test results come back. But whenever Nikolas tries to speak, the words don't come out the way he intends.
You were in the room with him? You saw this happen?
Look, Nikolas asked to see me, okay? And when I got in there, he started writing some stuff on his pad.
Did you get in an argument?
No. No, he had something to tell me, but he just couldn't say it right.
What did the doctors think?
They recommended the MRI, and that's the test results that we're waiting for.
Sarah, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I didn't want to freak you out until somebody knew something.
Mr. Cassidy? The MRI is in. We have an answer. Nikolas has suffered a stroke.
A stroke?
But he's so young. I thought that strokes only happen with old people.
No, that's not necessarily so. The MRI indicated that the speech center was affected.
But how did this happen? It must have been connected to a shooting.
That's almost certain. The trauma that Nikolas sustained to his left carotid artery in all likelihood left him post-operatively with some roughened areas on the inside lining of the artery. Sometimes platelets can accumulate in these areas and form small clots, which potentially can break free and float into the brain. And one clot like that migrating to the speech center can cause the problems that Nikolas is having now.
Does this condition have a name?
Well, he can understand us, and he can produce recognizable words, although they are disordered and misused. And that leads us to a diagnosis of expressive dysphagia instead of aphasia, which is where the patient can't make intelligible speech.
What about this new drug for strokes?
TPA?
Yes, I've heard that it's been used here successfully at General Hospital on stroke victims to dissolve clots.
Well, that's on fresh clots, so that's why it's usually administered within the first 3 hours after the stroke. I would be willing to try that, except that in Nikolas' case, he just had major surgery, and the TPA might make the surgical site bleed again, which I think is too risky. So I don't recommend any radical procedures right now.
What are you recommending?
Keep him for a couple more days for observation, then send him home and start an immediate program of speech therapy. And we're hopefully, with time and training, the symptoms will lessen and then disappear.
Dr. Hope seems a poor substitute for proven medical treatment.
Well, unfortunately, I can't give you a guarantee, Stefan.
Does Nikolas know his diagnosis?
No, I'm about to tell him right now.
No. I'll tell Nikolas what has happened to him.
Dr. Gibbs, please call extension 57. Dr. Gibbs, please call extension 57.
It looks like Nikolas is gonna get better.
I really need to be alone for a while.
You're still mad at me, aren't you?
I can't think about that right now.
Aunt Bobby, I need you to be straight with me. Is Nikolas gonna get better or not?
Well, no one knows for sure, but I've seen a lot of people with similar symptoms get better. Did you come with Sarah?
She's barely speaking to me.
Yeah. Well, she's upset and she's scared to death. I'm afraid you're getting the brunt of it.
Well, it's a scary thing, you know. get you something to eat?
No, thanks.
His uncle's glamorous girlfriend is there. He looks like he wants to spit at her. Why don't you just leave the gift?
Because I want to see him.
Well, what do you want me to do? Open the door and yell fire?
Good afternoon. Are you young ladies here for the children's party?
I was wondering how Nikolas is.
Growing stronger every day. He still prefers not to see visitors, however. I'm sure you understand.
Any visitors or just me?
I'll be sure to tell him you stopped by.
I'm gonna give it to him myself.
You must be Mr. Cos. Thank you for joining our holiday celebration.
And you must be Santa.
No!